Hello and welcome to the Cutie Art Crusaders, episode 90 for March 25th, 2014. My name is Rainbow Plasma. I'm the organizer and host, I guess, of this podcast, and today I'm joined by...
Burn01, the special guest coordinator, and this week, the fancy pants editor of the podcast.
Ooh, fancy pants. I am Flutterguy317, and I'm the media manager for the podcast.
And I am Atmos Brock. I'm the questions guy.
He'll answer your questions.
We have a full crew back this week.
Yay!
Hey!
So,
Atmos Brock, you
welcome
needed
back.
like a late night talk show or something.
No, bad idea. Moving forwards.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, avoid it.
Yeah, so we've got two of our members back this week. Mr. Fluterboot is back from his fancy schmancy business trip.
It'll come back, Fluterboot.
Atlas Bark is no longer at his parents' house. The dog across the hall still barking. That's a constant. Oh yeah. But yeah, welcome back, guys.
Hey, thank you.
I would like to congratulate myself.
I would like to congratulate myself too, because we had to you and I had to sit through an hour of us. So I mean,
Yeah, that was awful.
I know we are literally the worst kind of
And
people.
I feel so bad for the people who had to listen to us just ramble about junk.
Well, I had to do it twice. Actually, I did it three
Yeah.
times because I was there and then I edited it and then I was there on Tuesday to listen to it again.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I had to listen to it three times.
Rough.
No, I think it actually went really well, and I think it was just a different dynamic between two people. I'm not sure how you felt about it, but
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was different, but 4 people is a lot more fun.
Aw, thanks.
But I do get a talk list. So,
now shut up and let me talk. A couple of talking points in this episode because there's a lot of stuff that we have to go through, and there's a lot of art. So let's try to get through this quick. The first things first. A Mr. Forest Rain approached me a couple weeks ago because his show, Elements of Harmony, on Everfree Network, it was moved from Friday airtime to Tuesday airtime, which is really cool because we haven't had a show after us for a while. So it airs at 10 p.m. Eastern, and to give you a reference point, that's 2 hours after this episode airs. So if we air at 8, then they air it at 10. So definitely go check them out and give support. We like to shout out those shows who are on the same day as us. I like Forest Rain. He seems like a really awesome guy, so you should check out their show.
it's a cool show.
Yeah, if you like music and
It's
stuff.
pony music and
Yeah,
stuff,
it's-
and they listen to new pony music.
It's about like
Yeah.
It's fun.
musicians, and they've got a bunch of people on. They bring on special guests, and so yeah.
So if you like the Mad Horse beats, you should hit that up.
Mad Horse. Cool.
Cool.
We've also got some special stuff to talk about in terms of episode 100. Wee! Woo!
Oh,
Fanfare!
snap.
Confetti!
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, well, it's, very enthusiastic.
Yay.
Episode 100.
It's a lot of episodes.
Episode 100 is coming up in 10 weeks, or, in case you were wondering, on June 3rd. That's when that episode is airing, and we're having our 100th episode special. And now we're doing something special for that, because it's a special, right? So, Flutterguy, why don't you tell them how everyone who's listening to this can contribute in their own special way?
Okay,
Aw, snap.
So the episode 100 is going to be kind of a fan-generated / fan-contributed episode, kind of in a similar style to our last fan-generated episode, which I think was our 1-year anniversary. Basically, you can send in either text or an audio snippet that's about 2 minutes in length, answering 2 questions. What have you learned from the podcast, and what have you enjoyed about the podcast? The podcast being Cutie Art Crusaders.
Right.
Basically, we kind of figured that our main goal with this podcast is to be both educational and entertaining. So those 2 questions kind of cover that, and we wanted to see, just what you guys have learned and if there's anything that you've enjoyed over these past 100 episodes.
So yeah, send those in to our email, cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com. Again, if it's an audio, try to keep it around 2 minutes. We're not going to be too crazy on it. And same with the text. Don't give us 3 pages. As much as we would love to hear it, we do want to make sure that we can get in as many as we can. So just to make you aware.
We also, like our last episode where we did something like this, we'll be showing fan art in the background. We won't be able to talk about it because there's been so much fan art.
There's too much.
Yeah. And we really want to, share with you your guys' responses to these questions. So we'll just have fan art on in the background. So if you want to send us in any more, that would be amazing.
Yeah, but we'll be
will
showing
be our visual.
a bunch of those. So that'll be your visuals for that episode. Will be fan art.
I guess if you want to send in a visual with your question.
Yeah, no.
No.
I'm going to veto that idea because that was literally brought up right this second. I'm going to veto that on the
Okay.
prospect of that's going to be annoying to edit and yeah,
Yeah.
might be confusing. Anyways,
Yeah.
So yeah, send those questions either in audio form or text form.
Yeah.
For our episode 100, which should be exciting and coming up shortly.
Yeah. So you have 10 weeks to do that, but do send them in by May 30th, which is the day we'll be recording that.
Correct.
episode.
So basically, you have until the end of May.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
So
Is that it?
now,
Yes.
Can we move forward into exciting things?
Yes. We can.
Exciting things.
Do it.
You guys excited?
I am
Because
excited.
I'm excited.
why are you excited, Burnt?
Because this is the episode that everyone has been waiting for. This is one of our probably our most fan favorite episode, I'd say, or basis of fan favorite episode. So this week, our theme is. You ready?
So yeah, this week we are bringing back the crab battle. It's Crab Battle 2 Reloaded Revengeance. This time it's Rip. Who wrote this? This is awful.
That was me.
This is awful. Anyways, Crab Battle 2, the sequel. So it's back and it's better than ever, with more crabs, more rarity, and more art actually, because we've got 5
More
pieces
epic
this week.
battle.
Yeah. And you
better be ready.
Hold on
So,
to your seats, guys.
Hold on to your seats.
This art will blow you away.
This
Buy
week,
tickets, but you only need the urge.
CAC.
All right.
All right, so our first piece, which does feature a crab battling Rarity,
No. Tell me more.
Oh, snap.
is called Rarity Fighting a Giant Crab
What?
Oh my
I would
God.
like to nominate this one for best title of the year.
by none other than Datamne.
Best artist of the year. Am I right?
Well,
For naming the best title, yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start off our crab battling with actually a fan of the show, Datamne. He made this, I believe, kind of in response to the last crab battle one that we did. I know we happened to inspire a couple of fan artists to start drawing this scenario.
I like to think we did. I like to think that we had some kind of influence on this episode in particular that we're redoing, because there wasn't, like, we did like the best of the crab battle stuff out there,
Yeah.
and then more crab battle stuff
It just
came out.
started
However,
like popping up.
I can't give all credit to us, even though I'd love to accept that, because a lot of the pieces we're featuring are actually more commissions by What Is a Pokemon.
By the same guy who's been spreading this thing like a wildfire.
We're gonna make that guy famous.
Yeah. I mean, he already is famous.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. In case you were wondering, the guy who's What's a Pokemon on DeviantArt has a favorites gallery with all of his crab battle commissions. and
If you
stuff.
want to go see all the pieces he's commissioned and
Yeah.
seen and favorited and stuff. But he's the sole pony behind this and keeps commissioning all these crab battle pieces with
Yeah,
Rarity.
basically, I don't think he came up with it, but I'm fairly certain he's the reason why it still exists.
Yeah.
He ran with it.
Yeah. And why it blew up so much.
Exactly. So yeah, Datamne, this one starts out on a bit of a weird angle. We've got a top-down view, which isn't something that we necessarily see a lot, and there's a lot of motion in it. We like to bring up Datamne as an artist because I think Datamne does a lot of really cool alternative views to art. There's a lot of abstract stuff that he does, but also in some of his less abstract stuff, he tries lots of different styles and different angles, and just generally seems to just do things a little bit differently than everyone else.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because in the show you sometimes see like Pegasi from a top-down angle as they're flying or whatnot, but you don't really ever see any ponies that are on the ground from a top-down angle.
Right.
So this is kind of a definitely a different view of a pony from, the angle and the perspective and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting, and Datamne did a really good job with that.
This is forced perspective, and I like it because I like forced perspective.
Yeah.
It's also got some sort of motion to the piece, and I'm not sure if that's just the shadows or whether or not it's the brushwork that's tricking me into it. But
I think it's the brushwork, like all the diagonal lines.
Yeah, they all go in
throughout
one
the entire
direction.
like background.
they go from rarity, like through rarity, like parallel with rarity's body, like through the crab. But all the shadows are very, very kind of brushy and very, I don't know. It seems to convey this sense of speed in the piece, even though obviously they're not having a huge amount of speed, but it's kind of like the part of it is the shading, right?
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, Rarity and the crab and the two fork tines are kind of in focus and whatnot, and the background's a little bit blurred, and that could just be due to more of that brushwork. So it does kind of give that motion effect.
Yeah, definitely. What we've mentioned before is that diagonal lines and even compositions actually create motion and what's that word I'm looking for? Drama. They're very dramatic. So like, I think the fact that it's like the crab and Rarity are both, at a diagonal angle, and also like the blending in the background where it is kind of, it looks a little bit blurry like you mentioned, but it's also just kind of like sweeping through all of the other colors, and like there's lots of just like streaks and stuff, helps give that sense of movement that it's almost like it looks like they're moving or something, but it's just it's a very, I don't know, action-packed like background underneath them that almost gives movement, but I mean, it looks like they're stationary. I don't think they're like sliding down a face of a mountain or something. But
Yeah.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Maybe they are.
yeah,
You don't know.
be even more epic.
Yeah.
Maybe there should be some sparks flying out from underneath their hooves and stuff as they're like sliding down this mountain.
They could be like on a sandy hill or something, and there's a lot of wind too.
Yeah, point that I was trying to make is that there is a very diagonal composition to this, and there's a lot of diagonal lines, which helps drive forward that movement, action-packed crab battle.
Which is great. Oh man, that's returning, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if you're ready for that.
Oh,
one.
I'm so ready because I'm the one who's gonna have to send you that file. So
I know. It's gonna be
you know
lovely.
what? I missed it. I honestly missed it. It was one of my
I did too.
favorite like in jokes that I made editing wise, and I missed it.
It was one of my favorite edits you made too.
But yeah, this piece is great. So
Yeah.
I really enjoy. It's all about the angle. It honestly, I was gonna say something else. It's literally all about the angles. Like it's camera angle. And it's the angle in terms of diagonals. This piece is very math.
So math, bro.
Okay, Finn.
Such math.
Very math.
Something else I just remembered. The fact that the characters and the subject are actually cram-packed, like, inside of this space, which is this square. The fact that it's a very clustered and dense composition also helps for the sense of dramaticness and, like, intensity of battle. Not so much the movement that we were talking about, but the fact of just, like, this crab battle's going on. Like, the crab with his arms, like, on either side of Rarity and how they're both jammed inside of this square also helps to drive forward that point of intense crab battle.
Yeah, I think also that the camera isn't directly above the scene. It's kind of more over the crab, like pointing down towards Rarity. So that kind of gives the crab a bit of a more larger sense to it. Like he's kind of
Bit crabbier,
but
yeah.
yeah,
I'm sorry, Fluttergate, but more larger?
yeah, bigger.
I couldn't let that pass.
Larger.
Oh,
Crab battle! Hey!
yeah,
It's a great transition tool.
yeah. But I don't want to transition from this piece yet.
Okay, fine.
What do you gotta say?
I just wanted to say that I think it's really clever how Datamne used those little seafood forks in there as like a as Rarity's weapon.
What did
'Cause
you
those
call
are
them?
Seafood forks.
No. Before, you called them something else.
Oh, tines.
Tines.
Yeah.
Excellent use of the word tine.
What's the thing? Is it Donatello that uses them? I think the little ninjas thing. What are those?
Oh, I don't know what they're called.
Sides.
But
Come on,
Kunais.
someone help me out.
yeah.
What?
Kunais?
Maybe.
Kunais?
Maybe. I don't know.
What'd you say, kunai?
It's not a kunai. That's wrong. It's wrong, but it's
Donatello's weapon.
All right, well, you're researching that.
He's the one with the staff.
staff.
What's the other ones?
Machiavelli? No,
Machiavelli?
Michelangelo. Wow. Well, you're researching that. Yeah. So for those of you who have never eaten seafood, or
He's the one with the
shellfish-
nunchucks. You fail me yet again.
Nunchucks? You mean the things that look nothing like tines?
No.
You know, he's looking for the ones with the tines, the one with a really long point in the center and the two
the one
tines
with
off
tines.
to the sides.
Well,
Michelangelo, Donatello.
Raphael.
it was Raphael, by the
Amazing.
way. That's what it is. It's Raphael. I just don't know.
I didn't watch a lot of Ninja Turtles when I was young.
I
Don't hate me.
It's Raphael. I just don't know what the weapon is called.
Wields twin sai.
Size. Yes, that's what they are. Size.
Okay, so that was fun. That was a fun excursion. The joke I was trying to make there is that Rarity is using sai or crab size. There we go. Twin crab size. This is what I was trying to get at. Sorry about that excursion.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. So next piece is called Commission: Rarity versus a Giant Crab, otherwise known as Crab Battle, by Il Phantom.
I would like to retract my previous statement. Can the name of the year go to this artist? I think it conveys the proper tone of the piece
Yeah.
and the subject.
Quite, yes.
Yeah.
Also, he spelled commission wrong. Anyways,
Well,
no.
Anyways,
The first eye.
he lost an eye in there. Look, okay.
I will
in
never be able
battles,
to not unsee that.
sometimes in battles you lose an eye. It's fine. It happens. Okay.
But
So, speaking of battles, like the crab battle that we have on the screen right here.
Battle.
All right.
Sorry, I found it necessary.
That was. Can you make that one like really high pitched? That'd be good. Thanks.
sure.
So I think the first thing that stands out about this one is obviously it's medium, right? So the watercolors that are being used here, which make it look very messy per se, with the colors bleeding around. This is I think when people think watercolor, this is the kind of thing that they think of. It's like crazy and splotchy, and the water is like running everywhere. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the piece isn't focused in its own special way. And I wanted to point out, because I don't know too much about watercolor, so I'll leave that up to you guys to talk more. But I want to say my favorite thing was the way that this person used the watercolor to signify the magic, Rarity's magic. So the way that she's holding these,
yes.
what appear to be giant needles, like sewing needles. But it's got that like blue aura around it, and that's supposed to be like the magic. I thought that was really cool.
Pretty sure those are crab piercing devices.
They look like seafood sticks.
It could be toothpicks.
Yeah, like the toothpicks that you get at like buffets and stuff. They put them in the, or like when you go through the supermarkets and they've got the, take one of these and eat it and then tell me how good it is.
Oh yeah, like a
Yeah. It's really interesting to see how or what artists kind of choose as Rarity's weapon.
Weapon
when
of
she's
choice.
fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, Rarity's crab weapon of choice.
Yeah.
Like what was in the last episode? We had swords,
Yeah.
pins, and crab eyes.
We had a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I think didn't we have
crab smiting lasers and bazookas.
Yeah, we had that one bazooka. Yeah.
It's-
It's interesting.
The crab obliterating RPG, CORPG.
So yeah, watercolor.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Watercolor. I love the watercolor in this. It's a whole mix of like the really, really watery watercolor from like the background, and then you got the really dry paint with the very little, like the smallest amount of water possible on those dark splodges. And it's got the line work in it, and everything about this is just fantastic watercolor.
So fun fact, something cool about this watercolor here that we're looking at. The amount of water in which you mix into the pigment that is watercolor paint affects how translucent that pigment is on your paper, obviously. So the more water there is, the less color that is going to get on your watercolor paper and the more translucent it will be. So there's a lot of water mixed in with not very much pigment in like that green and like the blue of Rarity's Magic and the red on the crab. But that is a lot of paint to water ratio, well, higher in the paint ratio on the like dark browns and shadows and like, I don't know, it looks like an angry crab brow and some of like the crazy, like, they almost look like feathers and junk, like all creating all this crazy motion and action, swarming around in the battle, and then that shadow, dark shadow on the crab's arm there.
Yeah, I think this piece is a classic example of something that doesn't look as good as it actually is at first glance. Like it's the kind of piece that is deceptively like smart, because there's so many things in this piece that look like they're just like, oh yeah, you just went like a brush here and a brush there and whatever, it's fine. But like when you were talking about the whole like leaves aspect with these dark browns, you know, it's really smart, and it gives a lot to the piece because it gives a lot of energy. It feels like stuff is flowing around, whether they're feathers or leaves. It makes it feel like there's a lot of action going on, a lot of motion in the piece. And I think a lot of the stuff that he does in this piece is very well thought out. Like you said, the difference in pigments and things like that. So it might, at first glance, you'd be like, oh, this looks like a well done watercolor in the style that we used to make in school, right? But it is really. It seems like it's much more than that beneath the surface.
Well, yeah, there's definitely this tension that people don't like because it is a little less like super accurately rendered, you know. And sometimes people I feel like people put too much emphasis in like super accurately representing something or rendering something in like paint, where a lot of like the liquid and just like the artist's brushstroke is doing a lot of the work in a piece like this, and it ends up being really good, and it helps this chaotic, intense feel, you know. It's a kind of a traditional version of, you know, blurring out lines and stuff like we saw in the piece before this.
Yeah. Well, and you get that with a lot of different mediums too, but I think in watercolor it shows up the most. Like if you look at some of Monet's work or any expressionistic pieces of art, like you know, if you look at it up close or whatever, it's like what are they thinking?
What is
know,
this? It's just lots of did you eat paint and sneeze?
But like you know, I think we're kind of accustomed to kind of stepping back and looking at oil paintings and stuff like that on a more broad level. But like with watercolors, I think that's kind of an untapped medium, and like we don't really see watercolors on a regular basis as opposed to like oil paintings or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of something that's really cool to explore, and that not a lot of people have. And so that's why you when you look at this, it might seem a little messy at first, but it's really, really well thought out. And I do love the magic.
Splooches of water where it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do like splooches.
I do love the mixing of colors in the background with the blues and the greens and stuff like that. I think the green is part of the background because it kind of continues underneath the crab and stuff. But it's just that whole like mixing of the colors with the water and stuff like that is really cool.
Yeah, this person, Il Phantom, really knows how to work with the watercolors because they know that you could put a teeny tiny drop of really watered down of that blue pigment, like a teeny drop of that, and it will spread through the green, which is what has happened here, and they've done it really well.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not so much a teeny drop, it's like a large drop, but mainly water.
Yeah. Definitely go check out more of Il Phantom's work because it is phenomenal.
He's a really cool artist, actually. He just made a piece recently where he like sketched out a tree, and it was really cool. It was a cool tree. I liked that tree. It was really cool because he just like drew like just the little leaves and then like cross hatching in the trunk. It was cool.
And I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with crabs or with rarity. So we're gonna move on to our next piece, which is called Rarity and Her Crab, which has everything to do with Rarity and Her Crab, by Senyo.
Now, this title, I feel like, it gives us a little bit more, because it gives us this weird contrast. We see this piece, and it's very actiony, like a lot of the pieces we've seen so far, but apparently it's her crab? Does she own the crab? Is she training the crab? What's the story? Tell me, Senyo! Tell me what your story is!
Right? Is it her arch nemesis? Maybe we'll never know.
Or maybe it's her apprentice, and maybe they're not like play fighting.
Maybe
or not play fighting.
Maybe it's like Star Wars.
Maybe if you look in the background and you see those mannequins, she thought that the crab was one of her mannequins, and all of a sudden was like, "No, I'm a crab!" And stuff's happening.
That is the stealthiest crab I have ever
She's
seen.
all trying to like put clothes on it. It's like, oh yeah, look, there's something off about this mannequin. I don't know. And it's like, yeah, crab battle.
It's like Octodad. He's just a normal dude.
Right? No one even
like
notices.
No one notices.
He's a lovely mannequin.
No, because Octodad, I don't know what you're trying to get at here. Like, Octodad's just a normal dad, like,
it's
going
Father
through life.
Simulator 2013.
Yeah, like I don't
Or 2014.
get the reference. So anyways, so this piece brings up action again, but in a different way, which is again like really really cool because these first three pieces all convey action in a different way. So this one has like these like action lines like coming out of the edges of the piece, but it's also got some more subtle stuff. So you guys can obviously see the action lines. We don't really need to talk about that
You
too
can
much.
see the action. That's how actiony this piece is. You can see it.
But there's also some implicit stuff. For example, look at Rarity's pose. It looks like her hooves, especially her back hooves or her left hooves, are off the ground.
Just wanna play
like she's
action music.
sliding or jumping or moving
She's
in
in
any
action
way.
stance. It's
Exactly.
like, "Ba-da."
Even if she is on the ground, that's a very active stance. It's like a pouncing stance where you've got a lot of, to use sciencey terms, you've got a lot of potential energy and you're just ready. You're waiting to burst, you know. So there's a lot of, there might be those action lines and you'd be like, oh yeah, it's got lots of action. But I think Rarity's pose does just as much.
Look at all this action over here in this general region. You can direct your attention.
It does just as much to give it an actiony kind of feel.
Yeah.
This piece.
Plus the mannequins like going all over the place in the background.
It's like the action was so intense as soon as she assumed that position, it was like, "Grrr," and like all the mannequins explode out of the
She
way.
hits the ground. It's like poof, like a shock wave just went out
Yeah.
from where she landed.
I could just imagine.
And then the mannequins make that little toy noise that they do in the show.
I could just imagine this is like some over the top anime like scene.
Fight scene.
Yeah, or it's just like in the wedding episodes in My Little Pony, where it's just like, you know, silhouettes and like big like slow mo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
But there were no
Hasbro-
crabs in that episode.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. That's what made it not as good as it could possibly be.
Yeah. By the way, Hasbro, please make a Rarity and a giant crab action figure set, because I will be all over that.
Hasbro, please.
Hasbro, please.
Hasbro.
Hasbro, crabs, please.
What about just like Etsy or anyone in DeviantArt, please?
Yeah.
Like make me a little like crab thing. Crab, like I'm gonna commission this. Who's that dude who makes the clay ponies? There's lots of them.
Yeah.
I'm a not commission this, but if someone wants to make me something, I'm cool. I'm cheap.
No, is it Goring? Make us a crab.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no.
might. Now, the whole free thing isn't exactly. I feel like you're getting away from the theme there, Apple Spark. So,
yeah.
anyways,
So yeah, this piece is really cool. I like the coloring in this piece, because in Rarity's tail and her mane and stuff, that's not the color that's used in the show. It's kind of a more, well, I don't know. It's like
Pastel
half more
purple.
saturated, and yeah, it's kind of interesting. It almost blends in with the background, and the crab is just this vibrant red that really stands out.
yeah,
In
it's
your
like
face.
it's almost got that contrast between the blue and the red. Where Rarity's shading, a lot of it is in blues, and her magic is blue, and her cutie mark in her eyes. You know, blue is definitely a complementary color, not in the traditional sense of compliments, but like in an actual like, I don't know, in like a normal person sense of complimentary. I have to remember that I'm on an art show and complimentary is different words. Anyways, so we have the big contrast between red and blue, and I find that there's usually a lot of contrast between red and blue. They stand out a lot. It's used a lot in
I really
things
do
like
too.
games
Yeah.
and other things like that.
See, fun fact, this bright red and that really bright bluey thing is what you could call cyan are actually opposites on the RGB color wheel. Because green, blue, and
Yes.
green, blue, and red are opposites on the RGB color wheel. Because RGB, so you have red, green, blue, and then cyan is green, blue.
Yeah.
And they look kind of like a green, blue. So it's compliments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a cyan.
But they are.
Don't you roll your eyes at me. I see you typing in the chat. You can do that too.
Also, don't start this cyan crap with me again, okay, Flutter Guy? You say this all the
It's
time.
basically a
What?
turquoise.
Every single time a vaguely blue or green color comes out, people are like, oh yeah, that's cyan. It's like everything that isn't explicitly blue or explicitly green but is somewhere in the middle, people call cyan.
It is.
That's what cyan
That's-
is.
there's a
Cyan
specific
is
cyan
any shade
color,
in between
though.
blue and green.
There's a specific
yeah.
cyan color, though.
Well, yeah. When you're
You
when
could
you're
say
referring-
that, like, Crayola has a specific cyan color, but the actual definition of the word
Can
is
we-
technically blue-green.
Can we just go
and
with
any shade in between there.
Can we just go with cerulean?
I
Because that's
Azure.
kind of like a
That's a,
yeah.
technically phthalo is a type of blue and also a type of green, and when you mix them together, it makes cyan.
I don't even know why I talk to you people anymore.
Crab battle! Crab battle!
Can we battle crabs into this art piece a little bit more and less into our own lives?
All right, I've been babbling about silly stuff too long. I really like the fact that in this piece it plays with. Well, actually, it doesn't even play with Jack. It doesn't have any outlines. It's like no out. All the subjects aren't outlines. All of Senyo's work, it doesn't really use outlines. It just uses like the hard, like edged colors. The artist also really likes to use that, like the really distinct shading, which is usually in like cool colors or interesting colors, not cool specifically in the temperature, but just interesting colors for shading. So like I really, really like the blue used in like Rarity's epic face, and then in the legs and like on the edge of her legs, hooves and stuff.
What is a cool color for shading?
I just let that one slide, okay? Don't get burned starting to describe what cool is.
Already got me.
Yeah,
Interesting colors for shading, where it's normally like it's an off color, or sometimes it's not always just like the slightly darker color. It's like an interesting shift in hue that makes up the shade. Like obviously in Rarity, it would be really boring if Senyo just used like a darker gray or like a slightly like black color, or we know something that's off-white, where in this case it's actually like a bright blue. Like it reacts well with the color scheme of everything else, and the artist really likes to do that with like all the other ponies and different sketches and stuff.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next piece, which is called Well Isn't That Darling? Our first title that has neither crab nor Rarity in it. What? I know, right? Like, what is going on?
So how can it be a crab battle piece?
I don't think you said that right, actually, Flutter Guy.
By what?
I don't think you said that right. You have to say it like this. Well, isn't that darling by Lovely Milk? Oh, quite lovely. The milk today is quite lovely.
Hey, your Canadian accent's showing.
Your Canadian's showing a little here.
That quite lovely is quite the woody term, isn't it?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Darling, it's quite woody. All right, well, Monty Python references aside, I feel like this piece eschews a bit of the battle part. And
issues. That word's tinny. I don't like that. No.
And it focuses more on the crab part and the emotional depth to the side. To how does the crab feel in all this? And I think it's a wonderful point to bring up. How does the crab feel with all this battling? What's the motivation behind these giant crabs, and why are they battling all the time?
I've never thought about it like that.
Maybe the crabs aren't the one that's battling.
Is Rarity threatening? Rarity can be quite the abrasive personality.
I think it's that crabs just don't appreciate fashion. I feel like they're like the enemy of fashion.
But if you look at this
what's the most unfashionable creature that there is in like the world, and people are just like, crabs. Like I just don't like crabs. I just think just how they dress it just grinds me the wrong way.
I want you to hold that thought.
They never keep up with the fashion. It's like they're living under a rock.
Like, have you ever turned a crab upside down and looked at that? Okay, put a tuxedo on or something.
Spider crab. Those things are kind of.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait. Burned. I want you to hold that thought. I just want you to hold that thought, and we'll bring it up again later. But I just want you to hold that thought that crabs aren't fashionable. Okay. Anyways, right now, regardless of crabs' innate ability to have fashion sense, it seems Rarity
have or have not.
It seems Rarity is trying to fix that with a lovely sparkling bow.
Look at it sparkle.
While also, is it a sparkling bow, or is it a crab disarming device, or a crab?
Is it like crab handcuffs?
It could be
that's what I'm saying.
It could be like those rubber bands that you put on lobsters.
But it's a pretty bow.
She's trying to dress it up. She's distracted.
Look, it is. Oh my gosh, it is wrapped around the claw.
And the crab is crying because he's going to die.
Crab battle!
Crab battle! Maybe this is like the aftermath of the battle. Rarity has won and she's claiming her prize.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm so sorry, Lovely Milk, if you watch this, because apparently we have nothing to say about your actual art. And just more about the situation.
I picked this because I loved it, and it was great. Yeah. Like, everything from the crab's expression, it's so sad, to Rarity's expression, like,
oh, yes, I mean,
and, like, the colors, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I like the outline style used in this with the crab. And you see this kind of in a lot of more cartoony pieces.
Man after my own heart.
Where it's like bright white outlines. And then if you look at the inner side of the line art on the crab, you see this like bright green and stuff like that, and that's more of that kind of unusual colors for. It's not really shading.
Yeah.
It's
It
just
matches
outlining,
the
but-
background.
Yeah.
I really like that the choice to put the intense green like behind this. I guess not really silhouette really, but behind Rarity, creating that bright like green contrast in there. I really like that. Really, my eye really gravitates towards that like bright area.
Yeah, it seems to
Yeah.
pop a little bit.
Pop indeed.
Yeah. I was just thinking maybe like Rarity and the crab were like in some sort of contest and they had to fight, and like the bow
More
is
narrative. I like it.
the bow is like a consolation prize for the crab.
Wait.
And-
The last title said Rarity and her crab. What if Rarity was entering this crab into a crab competition and they won, and the crab is just so happy that he and or she is just crying, and Rarity's like, "Good for you. I'm sure it was all you and nothing to do with the pretty bow
Here's
that I
a
made."
pretty bow.
Aw. But
It's like first prize bow.
Yeah. The description says, "Look how sad he is," though. So.
Well, you know
Oh.
what?
Aw.
Ruining my narratives. My fanfic is
You
ruined.
know what?
Go complain about it on Tumblr.
Well, maybe he got second instead of first in the crab competition.
Maybe he got second instead of first, and Rarity's like, "Darling, this isn't good enough. I'm going to have to cook you."
Maybe the
gives you
first
a
prize
fancy
was
bow?
being cooked last. Maybe he lost and like would be cooked first.
Aw. Now I feel sad for this
Could
crab.
be Atmospark. Could be.
Well, thank you, Lovely Milk, for making this lovely piece of art. I'm sorry that we have nothing
Heyo.
productive to say about it, but it looks very nice.
I do have one more thing to say about it.
I have
do-
one more thing
I
to
have
say
lots
as
of productive
well. So.
things. I'm
Yeah.
just having too much fun being
Actually,
unproductive.
I have a few things to say.
How about
Well,
you
first
say
of
one
all-
thing, then I say one thing, then let's move on to our last piece.
Then
Okay.
Burned will say lots
No,
of
then
things.
Burn,
No,
and
no.
Burn will sit in his corner, else he be cooked next.
Can't tell me what to do.
And then Atmospark will say lots of things.
Okay. Why don't you start, Flutter Guy, and then I'll end, and we can move on to the next thing, okay?
Okay. I like how the crab in this piece is framing Rarity. Basically, Rarity is kind of is in the center of the piece, and the crab is kind of all around her in this triangle composition. But he is framing her, and so it kind of directs your attention to her. And also, if she's kind of the focal point of the piece, and then you drift upwards and you see the tears of emotion in the crab's eyes, and then you get all sad.
The tears of sadness. Yeah.
Downward
What was that noise? It
angles.
sounds like you're underwater.
That's what a sound sad crabs make.
When they're drowning.
Crabs don't drown.
So, no, let that one slide. So I wanted to bring up too that I really like the kind of like I'm not sure if shading's the right word, but just the way that the crab is colored. It seems very textury. I'm a texture kind of guy. It's really awesome. I like it.
That's actually the point I was going to make, because I really like the hues, like being all like kind of sketched out and painted on the crab. That
Yeah,
was
it's
my
I
point.
was also going to say that same thing.
Well, then I'm
look at
just a
I was also
freaking
wanted to say
genius.
the way Rarity's highlights and stuff in her hair and her tail is really well done with the bright purple there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do like the vibrant purple. It's good that the artist did that, because the bright hue of the purple in the bow is very like it's very vibrant,
Luminous.
So it would be competing it would be competing for vibrancy of Rarity's hair, but the fact that the artist kind of made them both almost like a similar saturation, along with the saturation of the green in the background, makes it so they don't really fight each other for dominance, that they're both kind of like an equal plane that we can see them. Because if they were subdued hues, we wouldn't notice them, and other things would be overbearing. For example, like the dark hues in the crab's underbelly, there's some dark hues of kind of like a muted brown or gray stuff in there that I really like in the shadow, but we don't notice them because of how bright everything is around it.
Speaking of fighting for dominance, crab battle. Next piece. Our last piece for today
was
is called
glorious.
Legendary
Bravo.
Legendary Battle
Bravo.
by Space Kid.
Space Kid!
This piece is amazing.
I like
Yes,
space.
me!
Do you remember about 10 minutes ago when we were talking about crabs in fashion? Is that not the most fashionable crab Dost had ever laid thine eyes
well
on?
put, sir. Well put, sir.
That is one fashionable crab, and I think, in fact, that you should take back your mean words
Look at
about
his
Crab's
mustache.
popular
I do not
fashion
take
sense.
back the horrid words that I hath said earlier.
Fantastic.
Like, because that is quite the most fashionable of
I'm
fashion
glad
crabs.
because I agree.
That mustache almost rivals that of my own.
I would say that it beats it by about 10 million, but that's fine.
I disagree, sir.
Okay.
But do you have a monocle and
Well,
top
How
I'll
hat?
dare
take off
you.
my glove
Have you
and
seen
I'll
my
slap
mustache
you
recently?
and we'll have a duel. And
No,
stuff.
actually, on a serious note, have you seen my mustache recently?
No.
Is this really a conversation we're having right now? We are on short.
seen my
We're on
mustache.
short time, Burns. You know what? You can show me your mustache after the episode, and I'm sure someone will write a fan fiction about it. But yeah, let's
Fanfic
focus.
my mustache.
Let's focus on the art,
Do
please.
the mustache
So-
fan fiction dance.
The backstory behind this piece, which I haven't actually read the description, so I'm just going to take a wild guess here.
So this crab has cancer.
The pony that's standing on top of the crab with the top hat is the cancer
Pony Zodiac.
Pony Zodiac. Thank you. And she's riding this crab,
'Cause it's a
and
crab.
Rarity is riding Spike
get it.
into battle. Yeah.
This
But also, so we have Spike, but I think we also have Twilight, because look at the crab's forehead.
Maybe Twilight made the crab big so cancer could ride it.
Yeah. She was like, well, this isn't fair. Spike's big, and you got this tiny little, cancer pony. Like, you need an ally. So she made it a giant crab. And then Rarity was like, well, if I'm going to fight him, he at least has to look presentable. And then she gave him a monocle and top hat. That's my headcanon, anyways.
Either that or being the king of crabs, like being, like, Zodiac Cancer was just like, I'm the fanciest of all crabs.
He is
I
the
don't know,
fanciest
like, that's
of all
what sets
crabs.
him above all the unfashionable crabs in the
So
world.
this-
He does have-
is his mascara,
Well,
monocle,
perhaps
and
the
mustache.
cancer pony is a fashion designer in the Zodiac world, and she doesn't want Rarity taking over being the most fanciest pony, so she's sending all of the giant crabs to fight Rarity and knock her off her
Hold on,
throne.
I have to take notes. Hold on.
Conveyance. Ooh, ties it all together.
Uh,
My headcanon.
I do like to think that that's actually Twilight in crab form.
And this is her own personal crab pet with the monocle and the top
That's
hat.
true. The Zodiac pony. It would make sense that she would be the one behind all the crabs.
It would.
yeah, it
This
would.
is now a thing.
Yeah?
I'm making this a thing. I'm forcing this to be a thing.
Space Kid, you're such a genius.
Space-
Yeah.
You're not only an amazing artist, but you are an amazing plot writer.
And
I'm
you
trying to
didn't
look-
even know it.
I'm trying to look really quickly up like traits of Zodiac, the Cancer Zodiac sign people, to see if there's anything to do with fashion. But I'm not.
Well, what's the
finding anything.
horoscope for this month?
While you do that, let's talk about art.
Yeah.
So, Space Kid, I really like this artist. I've been actually wanting to feature his work for a while. There's a really lovely Luna piece that I really want to feature, but we featured
Billions
so
of
much Luna.
Luna.
So much Luna.
We're gonna have a Moon episode, and it's gonna be like.
Oh my god, can we?
Space Kid is super awesome and how he shades everything, because it's like almost at first glance, I think almost everything he makes is traditional. Sometimes, not always. There's a lot of stuff in his gallery that looks really digital, obviously, but it's like there's almost a traditional feel on how things are shaded and like outlined. But it's always like, then when I take a closer look, it's like, oh wow, that's way too clean and amazing and digital. But I don't even know. I think it's the style of how he makes things, where it's almost anime. Would you say?
Yeah, but like in a really Western style too. Like
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
not like full blown anime. It's more like an adaptation in between the two.
Yeah.
Space Kid's also the artist that made that like Twilight riding the rocket art, like fan art.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
do what I want.
Yeah, he's made a lot of stuff that we haven't necessarily featured, but we've wanted to.
Go check him
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I talking about space, I really like the way that he did space in this whole thing. I like the gradient. I like
Well-
the kind of cloudy
well
look
put.
at the bottom, and then just all of these random constellations that may or may not actually exist, along with these crazy like stars and stuff. It just, I don't know, it gives a lot of energy, and it's just so kind of out there and active, and it makes a great background.
I feel like we have to critique everything in this piece like this, yes, quite. Because this crab demands for such critique.
I think a lot of the whole reason behind the whole the space design in this is because of the horoscope pony, and kind of trying to work that in because constellations and horoscope and
Yeah,
zodiac and
that
stuff
makes
like
sense.
that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
I like this one. I dare say, with as much realization that this shows off my bias, I dare say this is my favorite one that I've seen in this episode.
So it's interesting because we've seen Rarity with several different weapons, and in this piece, Spike is her weapon.
Spike is her weapon.
Yeah.
That is right. Actually, there has not been one.
Spike, the true anti-crab.
There has not been one repeated weapon in I think all of our, I think like 9 or 10 pieces that we've shown across our 2
That's
episodes.
true.
That's true. We didn't have lasers. We didn't have swords.
People are very creative in their usage of battling. Crabs.
If you are
crab battle weaponry.
if you are thinking of creating a piece of art featuring a crab battle and perchance a rarity, maybe be somewhat creative with your choice of weapon.
Oh yeah, it's a great idea.
Speaking of weapons,
yeah.
Speaking
it's
of
a good
weapons.
segue to the question.
That is actually a good segue.
What? Do tell, Pinky Dash.
I feel very vulnerable.
I mean-
I feel very vulnerable all of a sudden because like usually it's me telling him to do the questions. So like now he's all
Right.
getting up in my grill and I don't know and I don't know how to feel about it and it's making me feel uncomfortable.
Just go with it.
All bothered. Ooh. Do tell, Admiral
Okay.
Spark.
So first question I've got here is, believe it or not, is if your OC had to fight a giant crab, what weapon would it choose and why? It must be one that it can hoofle, i.e. handle, properly for maximum damage and on the same technological level as what is in the show. Sent in by Son and Blitz.
Ooh.
It took me a good 5 to 10 minutes to work out
We
what
have
he meant by that.
maximum damage. Thank you, Sun and Blitz, who are very quickly becoming one of my favorite question sender enders.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hoofle?
Yes, deal with it.
It took me too long to work that out.
Okay, so we have to think for all of our OCs then. What would we
Yes.
use?
Yeah.
Fucking hoofle.
Why do I have a feeling that this is going to decide some sort of fan art? I'm gonna think very carefully about this one.
I mean,
Oh, crab battle weapons.
I would be wielding burned. Burned would be my weapon. I have magic. I'm a
mean-
unicorn, so I would pick burned up and throw him at the enemy.
All right.
Fair enough. Would you wield Rainbow Plasma Burn?
I am the ultimate crab weapon.
This is true, actually.
It's okay. Burns battled crabs a lot in his life, so.
In the episode with Discord, didn't oh no, it was Trixie, where they used some like flash kind of fourth wall breaking stuff in the show to erase Pinky's mouth. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that is completely canon and that's in the show. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that my pony would probably use the fourth wall animation stuff.
Like you would vector yourself a
To
weapon.
remove a crab's
I
mouth.
would vector myself a weapon, or to remove.
You'd
the crab's
vector
mouth.
out a
The
weapon.
crab.
See,
Yeah.
that would be the worst weapon ever. You'd be super out of luck there with that kind of weapon because you'd be like, hey, yeah, fourth wall, and the crab's mouth disappear, and then he'd like look, oh, my mouth, make snapping noises at his face with his claws, and then he'd look at his claws and be like, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, I have claws.
Snip your head off.
And then you'd be like,
And
whoops.
he'd be like, oh, claws, how did I forget? Ah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say it would be effective, but
That's true.
can
The
you
weapons
hoofle
don't
it
actually have to
properly?
work.
Flutter guy uses fourth wall. It's not very effective. Snip, 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 snip.
Okay,
How
well,
about
my
you,
choice
Avatar?
when I first read this question, my first thought was like the nutcracker or the thing you used to break crabs' legs. I got that idea from Futurama.
Like a
Oh,
giant
good choice.
one.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So yeah, that. Also
That's-
flying, so maybe fire, so I can actually cook the crab and then eat it.
how
Maybe
about
you
a
just
nice big
Flying.
Maybe you just need to like
fire.
heat up the nutcracker.
How about a boiling
Maybe.
pot of water?
It's a really, really hot nutcracker.
That could be right. I could do that.
I would like to be able to make boiling water so it can
Just like
flick
a
of
few
wind.
Okay, here's the idea, guys. Here's the idea. I will crouch down behind the crab with a giant pot of boiling water, and you push.
But we need like 6 of you
that's
to
6
crouch
legs.
behind every leg.
Yeah.
Quick, you pick the weapon of multiplication yourself.
I'm a unicorn. I
Anyway.
could do anything burned.
Do what I want. All right.
Okay. Second
My
question.
weapon.
No, you already. Your
First-
weapon was you.
I gotta pick a weapon. I don't want to make water.
No,
That
I thought
sucks.
your weapon was you. You said you
No.
were the best
What?
crab battling weapon, so that's what you were gonna.
The Burndikus,
You
right?
said I was.
We asked you afterwards.
I gotta pick a weapon.
Okay, fine.
choose a weapon.
What's the weapon that you will be using while I'm flinging you at the crab?
Ironically, it's me. No. So for some reason, what I keep thinking when I think like best crab battle weapon, the first thing that keeps hitting into my head, and I don't know why, is scythe. Because for some reason, I fancy myself the bringer of crab death.
Wow.
So when I think of myself as the bringer of death, I think of myself as the grim reaper of crabs, and then constantly scythe
The
right back in my
purveyor
head.
of crab justice.
So would
Yeah.
you wear a cloak too?
I would,
Yeah.
with like the hood and like the epic
Yeah.
cape thingy.
Okay.
Like, I'd be like, I am death. Here's my butter. And like,
I am become
Right.
death, destroyer of crabs.
I am become death.
I am anti-cancer.
my scythe.
Okay, so
I
so
mean,
there's
you're
all your
already-
answers. All of them are wrong because the right answer was rarity.
I'm surprised you didn't pick a Titan, Microplasma.
Yeah, I know, but Titanfall.
Speaking of Titans, if you go look in the art like this in our DeviantArt folder, there's a mech battle one with mechs and ponies
It's
that we couldn't get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Check it out.
shout out to
Yeah.
Atmospark trying to shoe in the Titanfall reference, and I'm the one who plays it. Speaking of shoeing in, maybe you should shoe in the next question.
I prefer thongs, but if you had to make a concept/design for a new toy, what would it be? How would it look like? Alternative, improve or alter an existing toy. No restrictions, and not necessarily pony.
Okay. Before we answer this question, I have to put up a warning statement because thongs mean a completely different thing in Australia.
Oh, right, of course.
We don't mean like skimpy underwear.
Yeah.
Thongs are flip-flops in my country.
Anyways, so concept design for a new toy.
I'm gonna go first. I actually made a concept toy, like one of my earliest vexes. It was Slinky Pie.
Slinky
Aw,
Pie.
yeah.
Like the Slinky Dog from Toy Story, but Pinkie Pie.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Constantly with the puns.
In fact, I'm
lives
gonna,
up to
while you
his
guys are talking,
name.
I'm gonna go find it and link it to you.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. A concept design
Link it in the document.
design for a new toy. I don't know. I mean, I get now you've freaking said it, Atmospark, so now it's stuck in my head. I don't know. A toy Titan from Titanfall. There you go. Are you happy? Because now that's
Yes.
all I can think about.
Would it
Pony
be
Titans.
Would it be a life-size Titan toy or a,
Well, that's not a toy then. That is now my personal vehicle. No, but
We
I
can
don't
make
know.
this
It'd be
happen.
fun to have a Titanfall toy because they're cool.
I'm gonna stick with what I said during the episode and say Rarity vs. Giant Crabs toy set. Seriously,
That's
I wanna make it.
genius. You're right. Good idea.
Rarity versus giant crabs. The action
All right,
figures.
Burn. What's your
Seriously,
answer? And I swear to God, if you say
with
you,
real
then I'm going
crab
to
battle action.
kill you.
What?
I said, what's your choice for the toy? And I swear to God, if you say you, I'm going to come over there and strangle you.
Damn it!
I would
Think of something new, quick.
I would like a burned action figure, please.
If you press the button, it says value.
Or pull its string and it screams it at you.
I don't know.
It comes with
Any
a little
toy.
cage.
What's a toy
I'm sure
you've
there's
always-
like a toy. It was like, I wish I could really have this, but
Okay, what any toy in the world doesn't have to be pony, or maybe it'll help you if you narrow it down to pony. What kind of pony toy would you like to have burned?
That's what I was thinking of. I don't know. I'm happy with all my pony merchandise.
May I
It's all
give
pretty.
you one?
Better plushies.
May I give you one?
Cutie Art Crusaders blind bag sets.
You may
already got-
suggest, and I will critique.
How about an actually flying Pegasus
Ooh,
toy?
Yeah. Can you ride it?
that's not a
No,
bad idea.
like it
Oh.
would be a toy, like it
Like
would
a-
fit in your hand, but it would like fly around and it would look cool.
Cool.
Hmm.
That'd
Like
be
a-
cool.
Maybe like a quad.
I never really liked RC things.
Yeah, well, Burn,
Was
you
never
didn't
my
come up
shtick.
with an answer, so that is your answer.
Yeah, you know what? That is my fault.
That's true.
I would. No, how about this? I would like.
Okay.
No, it's not a toy. Never mind. I give up.
Well, now I'm curious.
hat.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have this hat sitting here, and I was like, I would like a pony fedora. Fedora intensifies. Tipping.
Wait,
But no.
wait. While we're talking about products, can we have pony spaghetti sauce?
Ponios.
Ponios.
Oh my God, Ponios,
Those exist
yes.
though. That's not
Do
a new
they?
thing. Yeah.
Really?
There's
I
like
know
a,
you can
there's
get
like
pony
a,
fruit roll-ups.
there's like an Applejack alphabet. Those kind of like weird soups with
SpaghettiOs
the
thing.
yeah, like the SpaghettiOs,
Yeah.
but there was like an Applejack version. I swear, there's like an Applejack SpaghettiOs.
I may have to look
I think
that
you're
up
full of
after this.
Applejack.
I know there's Mario's.
Yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Good
I'm
question,
right.
though.
I'm so right.
I'm a bad toy creator maker. I can't
Look,
think of
pony
anything. I don't know.
pasta.
So anyway, Slinky Pie wins.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's pretty much like trumped everything.
Now-
Yeah.
How does Slinky Pie do against quad rockets?
How about a dinosaur that eats force field, Slinky Pies?
All right, so
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching. That was the end of the question section. Thank goodness. So yeah,
Plugs.
that was our crab battle art and the crab battle questions. So thank you for everyone who sent in suggestions to us and sent in the questions. That was fantastic. Thank you very much. But now we're finished, so we got to go on to the plugs.
Yay. Okay,
Me
so
in
we
the
have a
intro?
DeviantArt page, which is cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com. So, email account, please send in questions. As always, we have a Facebook page, which is Cutie Art Crusaders on the Facebooks, and we
Facebook.
have Twitter, which is @CutieArtCrusade.
Woo!
Yeah.
Plugs.
Yay.
Plugs.
You can send in your 100th episode questions or answers to the questions to that email address. And Bern, did you want to quickly mention?
Speaking of sending things into our email address, so something really cool that we're trying to do, if you hadn't watched the end of our last week's episode and or seen our DeviantArt page, is April 11th. We are going to be recording. You ready for this? Crab Battle Part 3: The Re-Fan Crabbening. So we're actually going to make another Crab Battle episode.
Crab battle.
But
like 2 weeks or something after
this time,
But
it's
for that episode,
you guys contributing.
This time, you guys are making the crab battle
This time.
and sending it in to us, to our email, and it's going to be just an episode of created content by you, the viewer.
Yeah.
So if
Yes.
you guys want to see your stuff on the show, then submit it to us, and you could be one of lucky 4 or maybe 5, depending on probably 4 because I don't like skipping through pieces so quickly. But yeah,
Yeah.
four people who will be on our fan generated content special crab spectacular crab battle.
Crab battle!
Crap.
All right, and
See, I have to do
speaking-
that because I had like a year and a half of that just pent up.
So speaking of
Crab battle.
future episodes, our theme for next week is
No, our theme for next week, a very special episode that I think people have been clamoring for their entire lives.
Yeah.
And perhaps we'll have something a little bit special for you for that episode.
Yeah,
But
quite.
you'll see.
but it's not as special as crab battle.
Tune in next
That
week.
is the theme in general for the next bunch of episodes. It's just you will
Right.
see, because we've got some awesome stuff planned for you guys. You know, we got crab stuff. We got 100th episode stuff. Got a bunch of stuff that we're planning in the middle of that. We got a bunch of crazy things, so look forward to that. It's a very exciting time to be a Cutie Art Crusaders fan. I'm excited. I'm not sure if you're excited.
Also, if you're
I'm
sending,
super
I'm pretty
if you are
excited.
sending something about the crab battle thing into our email, please put crab somewhere in the title so Gmail can filter it for us.
Yeah. And the same
Please, and
same
thank
with
you.
the episode 100. Make sure to put
And for any other
100.
details, you can also look down on the description of this video on YouTube and the DeviantArt. It's on our DeviantArt in our journal. It'll be there. Link will be there for you.
Yeah.
Or you can just go to our DeviantArt and go to journal.
fantastic. All right. Well,
Crabtastic,
this
if you will.
was quite the crabtacular. It was
Oh, indeed.
this episode flew by, and we got some good stuff in this episode. And I think it went really well. But yeah, we have to bring it to a close. So thank you guys for watching, whether or not you're on the live stream or on YouTube.
We crab you all
We
the same.
crab you all the same. My name is Crabsma.
My name is Crabdo1.
I'm Crabber Guy 317.
And I'm Crabblespark.
Personally, I'm more of an Atmo crab kind of person, but that's fine.
Atmo crabs.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next week, or for the spoiler cast right after this.
Crab you
We
later.
crab you. Crab you next week. Crabs and stuffing.
Crab battle.
God damn it, Ted, you had the exact same idea! Screw you.
Crab battle.
Hello and welcome to the 18th spoiler cast done by the Cutie Art Crusaders for Season 4 of My Little Pony. My name is Flutterguy317 and today I am joined by Rainbow Plasma,
Hello.
Burndo1,
Hello.
and Atmospark.
Hi, why am I always last?
Aww.
Save the last for best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Save the last for best.
Okay, I'm playing video games. I'm not focusing, so shush.
Is it maybe
So-
maybe did you actually say my name first, but because of lag, because Australia?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it
The
is.
We'll tell
space-time
you every
continuum.
time.
The space-time,
single time.
space-time calliope like reversed on itself. And
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So the gang's all here, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler cast for Season 4, Episode 19, For Whom the Sweetie Belle Tolls.
Zoinks.
Yeah. Which is a really clever title. But yeah, so in this episode, Sweetie Belle puts on a play for, I'm guessing it's like a school play kind of thing with Apple Bloom and Scootaloo.
What's her face and what's her face?
Yeah. The other two Cutie Art Crusaders.
Right.
And so she's like trying to be in charge of all of it and whatnot, and then decides or realizes last minute that her dresses are terrible. And so she enlists Rarity's help, and Rarity makes like really, really perfect dresses, and then like that's all that people can talk about. So
She gets mad, she does some bad stuff,
yeah.
then weird
And
stuff
then a
starts happening
whole
in her
lot
dreams.
of stuff happens.
A lot of strange things start happening. And
That whole her being really mad about junk in the beginning was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It
Seemed
was-
really, really over the top.
I think I have a theory about that, and that's because, okay, kids are stupid, right? Like, adults are stupid, everyone's stupid, but, like, especially kids are stupid, right? And that's fair enough, because they haven't been through a lot of life experiences, and so they're learning. But the thing is, we've seen a lot of, like, cute stupid from the Cutie Art Crusaders. Damn it. So
Yeah.
you've seen a lot of, like, cute stupid, like, I'm gonna bounce on this ball to get a cutie mark, and you're like, oh, you're adorable, you're dumb, but, like, it's
Yeah.
like it's like a
Yeah.
puppy dog falling down the stairs, kind of, like, adorable, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to see it happen, but it's kind of cute anyways, somehow. So yeah, like, now we're seeing, like, the legitimately, like, mean, not understanding stupid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it was extreme, but it was the kind of extreme that I was like, this could absolutely happen and does on, like, a daily basis in people's lives. So,
Like, I mean, not to dwell on my own past, but like, it kind of touched on a couple of points in, when I was a kid. Like, my parents would try and do nice things for me or whatever, and I would take it in the wrong way or in the wrong context and stuff, and then get like really upset at them.
yeah, because you were stupid.
Yeah.
Just like all of us were when we were
Yeah.
Not me.
But especially you, Ted.
I
Yeah.
felt like I should probably qualify that. But I already have over the, like, last 2 minutes anyways, so.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think it's something that a lot of kids can probably relate to, just because they haven't had those life experiences before, where like someone does something nice, and like they don't know what to do afterwards because it failed. Like,
Also, I think it's very legitimate and it's a very interesting plot point how the fact that it wasn't necessarily the actual event that annoyed Sweetie Belle, but it kind of, like, the event brought up a lot of, like, she had bubbled up stuff that was under the surface.
Yeah.
Like the
Man.
whole, like, my sister's special and, like, nobody pays attention to me,
Yeah.
which was, like, really, like, hard hitting, close to home, like, that's the kind of stuff that people are like, whoa, about, you know?
Sibling rivalry.
Yeah, so, like, even though, like, the situation is stupid, usually these like, deep-seated things that, like, bubble up, they usually don't, like, bubble up for, like, legitimate reasons. There's, like, a stupid reason that, for whatever reason, you know, like, has the person relate to it, and then all of a sudden this like, pent-up jealousy or issue kind of comes up, and I think that was what was happening here.
Yeah. Man, Sweetie Belle's got like a tormented past.
She's like being less cute stupid and more like legitimately stupid this season, so it's like
Yeah.
there's like that part of me that's just like, stop it. Like when there was that
Kid, stop.
yeah, there was
Stop
the
that.
episode
Hit it with the newspaper.
with the Cutie Art Crusaders when they were all popular because of Twilight, and like Sweetie Belle kept being like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we should flaunt it or whatever. I'm like, no, stop.
I
Yeah.
got this, guys.
You're supposed to be cute and innocent and not evil.
Yeah. Not a Sweetie Bot.
There is an inherent evilness in children, though. Especially in these last few episodes.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you should bring that up because, like, I think between that and this episode, and we've seen it kind of a little bit in the past, but it seems like Sweetie Belle is kind of more of a dramatic pony than the other two Cutie Art Crusaders.
What a surprise!
Yeah. And this episode kind of really brought that out in her.
Yeah, she's definitely taking sort of traits from her sister.
I think that happens.
It
That's
does.
very common.
Also, that giggle when she, like, hugged Rarity in the beginning when she was like, all right, fine, I'll make your dresses. And she's like, like that voice cracked laugh was so evil. Like, oh, maniacal demon thing, get off my neck. Trying to suck my blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so basically the dresses are too perfect. Everyone adores them and doesn't pay any attention to the work that Sweetie Belle actually put into the play. So she gets upset, and then she removes a stitch from this headdress that Rarity had been designing for Sapphire Shores. And I don't really know that much about headdresses, but being held together by a single stitch seems a little...
I was just about
Whimsy.
to, does this come from a coding background? Because this must be a coding thing. Because I'm like, it seems like the design of that doesn't seem very good if you can have one point of like weakness.
Yeah.
There was some sort
One
of
string of code to rule them all.
some sort of strange connecting thread in our heads there.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fashionista
Yeah.
per se, so I couldn't answer that.
It was a cartoon headdress. It was fine,
Yeah.
Cartoon horses.
Yeah.
right?
So,
Stick to the moral in the story.
yeah. So then we get into this weird dream sequence where Luna comes and visits Sweetie Belle,
Whole
and it
lot
goes
of crazy
through, like,
stuff happens.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, the visuals.
Yeah. You get like
What is this, Disney?
There was about 6 visuals in
What
that.
kind of budget are you working with? Like, oh, goodness.
yeah. There was a very like Christmas Carol feel to it, where you
Right,
had like
yeah,
past,
Scrooge.
present, future stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, dang, that's genius. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was totally past, present, future, like in that order.
Yeah.
Come with me, Scrooge McSweetie Belle. I will show you your flaws of your ways.
Oh my goodness. Didn't they do like a Scrooge episode before?
They did a Moneybags episode.
Maybe it's just because there's been like every single show in existence has to do at least one like Christmas Carol, like
Yeah.
past, present, future ghost thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a requirement with shows nowadays. Every single one needs to make that reference at least once.
Ghost of Ponies Past.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first sequence that we see is the first sequence that we see is her accepting this award for what is it, the best written, produced, starred in her own play with her two best friends
Yeah.
award or something like that. Which is very specific. But then Luna comes in, and then we see Sweetie Belle's 5th birthday party, which was hinted at earlier before.
Oh my
And-
God. Was
Yeah.
that ever the most adorable thing ever?
Well, all the
I've
little
been-
Philly ponies? Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
been one to be like, because like we've had like baby Philly, then regular size, right? But that was like super Philly.
That was like...
like it was just like ah.
Yeah.
That was like
you know me, I'm not a
toddler
fan
age.
of the baby ponies, but like that was wow.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Yeah.
And poor Sweetie Belle is like up there with makeup smeared all over her face, and you know,
Because she
And
wants
also
to be like
kind
her
of,
sister.
Kind of. Yeah, really. It kind of confirms the whole like ponies have like approximately the same age as humans thing, because she said 5 and she looked about 5, and so now it would make sense if she was like 11 or 12 or something.
Yeah.
And then the other ones would be like
Early 20s
or something.
Yeah.
I have seen a thing on the approximate ages of characters.
Well, if, Rainbow Dash's birthday cake is to be believed, it would be 21.
She's 37. A grizzled old bag.
Yeah. So, I mean, context played a lot into that, because the next scene that we see is Luna showing Sweetie Belle what she didn't actually see when she was there, which is that Rarity was just trying to keep her guests entertained, and it was her guests who were, like, being mean and not Rarity, trying to one-up her. Yeah. So that was interesting. It's also kind of interesting because Luna spoke very, very little in here. So, like, throughout the whole dream sequence.
She doesn't really speak a whole lot, does she?
She spoke enough, though. She spoke quite a darn bit as far as, like, princess ponies go in this show.
People are complaining that there wasn't enough Luna. Shut up!
There was more Luna in this episode than there has been in, like, the last 6 or 7 put together.
It was just like, hey, so can you put Luna in the episode? And the people are like, yeah. And they're like, not enough. It's like, just shut
Yeah. She's supposed to be a mysterious figure. Yeah. And one of the points I wanted to make is actually a compliment towards how Luna was portrayed in this episode. Like, as, this kind of almost dietic figure. Mm-hmm. Coming to her in like her dreams and stuff, and not saying more than what was needed, just like leading, like being kind of like a ghost dream-like figure. She's in the blood, like the pony's bloody dreams, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite parts was actually when they were back in real life, and then they run into Luna. Yeah. She runs into Luna, and she's like, "Oh, like thank goodness, it's just a dream." She's like, "No, actually, this is real,
not dream."
And I was like, "That was great," and everything in the dreams was great.
This is very much real.
Yeah, like I was cringing at how, like, just over the top evil, like, and mean and wrong in the wrong Sweetie Belle was in the beginning of the cartoon. But then as it started getting into the dream sequence, I was like, now that she's been so over the top wrong, like all of this context makes sense and feels right for the amount of magnitude that, like, of emotion that Sweetie Belle had put into the beginning of the episode. Yeah. And I really enjoyed the whole dream sequence, including Luna in, like, the things she said and the part she played. Yeah. And I felt that it was done just right. Like, the more she talked and was present would just feel more and more like bantering to Bronies or whatever. And
well, it's an interesting approach, because it's like again with the whole Christmas Carol thing with the ghost of the future,
bantering,
like, doesn't talk at all. So yeah.
Well, in like the original version, anyways.
Yeah.
In the later, in all of the adaptations, they like talks more and more.
Really?
Sometimes. Well, no, I mean like the like, you know what I mean about like every show does their own version of it.
Yeah.
Not like the actual iterations of Christmas Carol, but like the ones that other shows do.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually, I think the little, like, the model of the kids is based off of what's his name, Pippington British Hooves, that guy.
No, because he's definitely nowhere near that cute. They just made them slightly smaller and made their eyes slightly bigger, and it's just like,
because big eyes mean cute.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, so Sweetie Belle kind of goes through this whole discovery phase in the dreamscape, where she sees the past, and then she sees kind of Rarity fretting over the whole headdress thing, and making sure she's getting everything done on time for Sapphire Shores, because it's like the biggest client that she's had or whatever. And then she sees the future of what will happen because she removes this thread, and the headdress falls apart, and then Rarity, like, descends into madness, and it's just fantastic.
Really. The society gets
ruined into madness there.
It started getting really dark, and then I started questioning again, like finding myself questioning, like, this is a kid's show, right? Like, this is supposed to be My Little Pony, right?
Yeah.
And she's like falling deeper and deeper and crying to Luna, like, wake me up. And it's like getting darker and darker, and Rarity starts twitching. It's like, oh, Jesus. And then like I started to feel uncomfortable. I was like, that's how I know this is a good show.
Yeah. It was definitely strange. I was definitely getting that vibe where it was like, well, things have just gotten off the weird end.
It's one of those things where you see when you're an actual little kid and they stick with you.
Yeah.
I'm in the weird part of YouTube again.
Yeah. I love the whole visuals for any pony that's like going crazy. They've done it with Scootaloo and with like
Twilight.
Fluttershy and Twilight and Sweetie Belle now. And especially like the whole 3D kind of like spinning around them, and it's just like it's so fantastic.
Well, it's good because that's how it actually feels when everything is falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, geez, Rarity's got like bloodshot eyes and is yelling at like Fluttershy, and
She's a bit cray-cray.
yeah. So
One would say.
so then Sweetie Belle and the Cutie Art Crusaders kind of hatch this plan to go and fix the hat, but they can't get in because the bodyguard
Fix
is
what
like,
thou hast wrought.
yeah. So the bodyguard is like, you guys are fans of Sapphire Shore, so I can't let you in because you're just gonna disturb her.
Yeah. I like the bodyguard pony.
Yeah.
He was pretty funny.
He's so misunderstood.
He had a padlock on his butt.
Padlock butt.
You're just jealous of his moustache.
No, I'm not. Have you seen my mustache?
Yes.
Not this crap
Get on
again.
my level.
Dude,
Alright.
Burns' mustache could take him. No, so they kind of slide in through the window like on a clothesline or a banner flag.
An apple
On Apple
bloom
Bloom's
line.
tail.
Yeah, which is hilarious. And then
Classic.
basically Sweetie Belle steals the headdress just in the nick of time, and then like there's this whole chase scene, which is very
And then dolphins.
yeah. It's
That
very
was really funny, by the way.
very
They
Benny
swim with
Hill
me in
thing.
my dreams.
Yeah.
She was like, I know.
I find it utterly disturbing that not only does Luna go into your dreams without being asked, she will reveal your dreams to other people.
It's just
Yeah.
She didn't reveal her dreams to other people. She just knew that dolphin tip and was like, why should I put a dolphin here? It's like, just trust me. I know things.
Oh, I forgot. During the dream, Sweetie Belle stuck to the floor and her like hooves are melting.
Yeah, right?
So
I saw that.
Marshmallow Pony confirmed.
How? First of all, yes, she's a marshmallow pony. She was making s'mores.
Yeah.
But second of all, how creepy is that?
Pretty good.
Like
I
that was
liked it.
that was definitely like you were saying, Burn. The kind of image that's like, oh.
Yeah, it was one of those unsettling imageries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all dark and scary, and there were spiders and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Was there spiders?
I don't know.
Yeah, there were
screamed
spider
spiders to me.
webs.
There was marshmallows everywhere.
Yeah,
Stay
there were spider webs in the flat or the future vision of like Rarity being all insane and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I liked the episode. It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that it was like, I don't know. It was kind of like an average episode for me. I mean, I was not like a huge fan of it, but you know, it was fun.
Yeah. I think it had a lot of like very cool elements to it, like the whole creepy thing, and like the lesson was really well done and very good and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it didn't really touch me in a personal way, so it's yeah. But it was a very good episode. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the episode for the dream sequence, whole section in particular. And I really liked the whole imagery and concept behind that, and the whole toss back to, you know, the Christmas Carol and all the junk. And I really enjoyed that part of it. But like the beginning was a little unsettling for me.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a good episode though, so I agree too.
Yeah.
Fun.
Cool. All right. So we do have to wrap up because we're short on time. So thank you guys for listening, and come back next week to catch the spoiler cast for episode 20 of season 4, and
20.
and to catch the crab battle. No, April Fool's episode of Cutie Art
No.
Crusaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
April
that's
Fools. It's
right.
not actually about crabs.
Yeah.
We've just got crabs on the brain.
I know.
You just got crabbed.
All right.
So thank you guys again for watching. My name is FlutterGuy317.
Run, Boo Plus.
My name's Burned1.
I'm at Muspark.
Bye.
Run, Boo.